Right, so today I'm going to be doing a video that I keep getting asked to do, and it's finally happening. A comparison between my 700 bhp BMW M6 and my 800, sorry about the wind by the way, it is bloody windy, and my 820 bhp Audi RS6.
Stainless. You know, I got through plenty of times where, you know, I doubt myself, but you gotta rise up. For real.
Chuki Beats.
Fire flame. Fire flame. Fire, ooh. Fire. Fire flame. Fire flame. Fire, ooh. Back up in the day, I used to have a stash box. Now I'm in the game. Turned up with the mascot. Toast up with the gang. Cause they were there for bad times. I got fire flame. I got fire, ooh. Fire. This your final destination, but this ain't my last stop. I go hard all day, but I don't need no rest stop. You should check out my aim. I don't need no red dot. I got ice in my vest, but I got fire, fire. I got fire, fire. Getting higher, higher. I got what you need. No supplier, plier. Legend rest in peace. Richard Pryor, Pryor. If I ever sold my soul, I bet you I'm the buyer. Yeah, I'm on the scene now. Play for the Mavericks. I was pissed off, but I calmed down. I was off that, but I'm on now. Put real life in my songs now, but alright. Your existence got thrown out. Going one-on-one, you get blown out. Hit the spin move to the goal now. Like,
what a beautiful pair of cars, isn't they? Lovely. This is not a battle between BMW and Audi, by the way. I'm a huge fan of both brands, but let's quickly kick off with the similarities between these two cars. Obviously both German. That's a 4.4 litre V8 bi-turbo, and that's a 4 litre V8 bi-turbo, okay? We'll start off with the M6. The performance on that car is, I'm told it's over 700 bhp. I don't have a dyno, so we're going to just assume that it is 700 bhp. It's a stage 2 car. We've got even Venturi intakes, we've got stock exhaust, but we have decat downpipes, and it's obviously signal green, making it an extremely special thing. It was painted that colour by BMW. It's got Vorsteiner body kit, which consists of a front splitter, side skirts, rear spoiler, rear diffuser, and the Vorsteiner wheels as well. They're lightweight, they're forged. They do the car a lot of justice, give it a nice little presence as well. It's been lowered a bit. It's a savage looking car, but whilst we're on the subject of savage looking, oh, by the way, the number plate, very big BHP. Let's talk about the word savage again. That plate should in theory be on this car because it's running at more power than the M6, ironically. That plate can't actually go on that car because that's a 2015 car and that reg is a 2016 reg, so it's against the law, it can't happen. So that plate will stay on that car for now. But this plate, arsehole, sums this car up pretty well, I think. It's 820 bhp, hybrid turbos from Turbo Technics, tuned by VRS in Northampton. It's meth injected. To look at visually, it's completely stock. I've just chose not to do anything to the body of it. That might happen in time, I don't know yet, but I just love the fact that it's kind of a bit of a sleeper, although it's not. It's a I swore then, sorry about that. It's a savage looking beast, but I just love the sort of the subtle look of it, right? It's got a full Miltech exhaust system. Both cars, let's talk about something else that they're very similar in. Brand new, they were both about £100,000 new. I got the receipt from the RS6 when it was new, that was £99,000 new, and the M6 was just over that, but to be fair, that was spec to a different level than most other M6s, so it went off the chart value-wise. So depreciation, they've both depreciated at a similar rate. I would say the M6 has depreciated quicker because right now they're both worth, I would say about, it's hard to say, let's assume they were both stock cars without all the extras on the M6 and without all the turbos and so on the RS6, they'd both be worth between 35 and 40 grand, okay? If you take into consideration all of the extras on that M6, the way it looks and the way it's been spec'd, it's quite a special thing. The value of that car would be a hell of a lot higher because of its uniqueness. It is an individual car as well from BMW, and it's only done almost 11,000 miles now. The RS6 has done 59,000 miles, so done quite a bit more than that. And yeah, like I say, it's worth about similar money. But to get an RS6 to that level of power, to what have I done to that? you'd probably do it for about £15,000, okay? So it's costing a lot of money to get a car to that level of power, but the outcome, as a lot of you already know from the first drive video, it's absolutely crazy, right? So after that, you sort of get down to the nitty gritty. So if we go for a little wander over here, the RS6 has got a panoramic roof, which I absolutely love. The M6 on the other hand has got a full carbon roof. That's just personal preference, I think. Oh, I love a carbon roof. Love the fact they've gone to that effort to put one on this car. A lot of M cars nowadays have got carbon roofs. Love that. Obviously got loads of carbon under here. Interior, I sort of mentioned in a previous video that I think BMW interiors are behind Audi interiors quality wise, but the finish and the quality of the M6 interior is unbelievable. It's such a nice place to be. It's a bit more cozy, a bit less room inside the M6 compared to the RS6, because when you sit in this RS6, trust me, you feel like you're sat in a spaceship. You've got shed loads of room, and it's just a real comfortable thing to drive. And that's a very, very good point for this with this car, because purpose, although they're quite similar cars purpose wise, this car has got back doors. Look at them lovely back doors. I've got a little boy called Kai, he's 6 years old. He sits in that seat quite comfortably. This is like a family car, and then that's kind of like my, I don't know, my journey to work car. But back seats and a big boot. We all love a big boot, don't we? And the fact that, you know, yeah, I love that plate. Got a big boot, and then in the boot you've got your big meth tank, which holds about 5 litres of meth. So plenty of meth, loads of space. Press the button to close the boot. Love that. So yeah, nitty gritties, little nitty gritties, and that's kind of like what it all boils down to. Obviously this is 4-wheel drive, this is rear wheel drive, definitely a bit of a problem. I've left them running both, by the way. I'll talk about why, well, the reason why, let's quickly talk about that. They've got to be warm and because we're going to go out for a drive in them in a sec. But this has got a reverse camera. You see the reverse camera there on the dash. This car, on the other hand, has got 360-degree cameras, which is really good. Press this button here. Yeah, ignore that bleep for a second, but yeah, that's a nice little feature that is. But silly stuff, let's just turn that off. Sound, let's quickly talk about the sound. This car, sounds nice when you're revving the hell out of it, or when you're driving under load. It sounds amazing, but it could definitely do with a little bit more noise. This car produces 100 and let's not talk about that set yet. This car produces about 80 something decibels on start up. The cold starts have been turned down. It's got a cold start delete. Why the bloody hell would anyone do that? But this car has got the most loudest cold starts on planet Earth. It's bloody ridiculous. Have a little listen to this. Full Miltech exhaust system, and it sounds a little something like this. There's me on my face in a reflection there. Yeah, that sounds absolutely mental. So this is crying out for a louder exhaust. That might happen in a future video, we'll see. I've got some thoughts about that, but we won't talk about that today. But what we will do is, I think what we'll do is we're going to go for a drive, yeah? Let's jump in the M6 first and go for a drive. The M6. This is kind of like my new toy at the minute. For those that are new to my channel, I've had the RS6 probably, I don't actually know, probably 9 months now. And the M6, I've had it for a couple of months, literally. The M6 is obviously rear wheel drive. You can see I'm battling a bit there with the back end. And it does struggle to put power down, as you can imagine. But do you know what? I'm kind of going through a stage in my life at the minute where I just fancy having a real drive in my life. I've been wanting an M car for a long time, and when this car come up for sale, I was like, do you know what? That is the exact car that I want in my life. So 4-wheel drive's great, brilliant, and especially if you want to put get your words properly, Cal. If you want to put this level of power down to the ground, doing it through the rear wheels is very, very difficult. There's the rear wheels going there. It's a challenge, but you know what? I kind of like that challenge. I like to have a little bit of a battle with the car when I'm driving it. I like for it to scare me. I really enjoy driving. I am the type of guy who likes to have a bit of a tear up in the car. I love this car. I love the way it drives. It's very drivable. Let's talk about the word drivability quick. I think there's two sides to the word drivability. I know this is quite analytical of me, but definitely two sides of the word drivability. There's a connection from between the driver and the car, and then the connection between the car and the road. Now, from a drivability point of view, between you and the car, in this car, it's great fun, absolutely great fun. It's perfect. It's a really easy thing to drive. When you first get in it, it's a bit sort of, the size of it's quite intimidating, I would say. It is a big car. I know the RS6 is a huge car, but once you get the hang of it, it is great fun to drive. Now, quickly talk about the gearbox of this car. Oh, back end. The gearbox is absolutely on point when you drive it in like the sporty mode. When you're up the speed of the ferocity down here, it's great, right? When you're driving in normal mode, like as in just stick it in auto, put it in comfort or whatever. If I turn left here, it's raining, which is quite good really, because the RS6 is going to be fine. There you go. Yeah, that is like really on and off of the throttle, but we're pretty much full throttle there, and it's raining now, so we can't do too much. But yeah, the gearbox on this car, this is a dual clutch gearbox, so it's obviously got a clutch, and you can feel that when you're doing general round the town driving. I say that in a negative way because it's kind of like it's struggling to pull away sometimes. If I just show you, just click it down to just drive, and then as you pull away, I didn't really do it then because we're in sports mode. Just turn that off. It pulls away in second, and as it pulls away, it's almost like it's, there you go, it's sort of on and off the clutch. That sounds really particular, but this is really what it boils down to with these two cars. It's real small things that make small differences, really. They're not even massive differences. The RS6 has got a ZF gearbox. I'll demonstrate how good that is in a sec. But this car, I absolutely love it. I think that's the bottom line. I really, really like this car, and if I put any of you in the driver's seat of this car, I know you're all looking at power figures at the minute, and power figures are very important. Power to weight ratios between the two are probably about the same, but obviously the RS6 will put the power down better because it's four-wheel drive. But I think what I'll do anyway is we'll end the M6 chapter of the video and we'll jump out in the RS6. That was four wheels spinning there. The RS6 is like a different league of savageness. Now the M6 definitely looks probably a bit more savage, which is that a fair thing to say because of the colour. They've both got amazing amounts of road presence, but this car from a driving point of view is absolutely savage. Now quickly, let's talk about the word drivability again. So the connection from the driver to the car, and then the connection from the car to the road. Between you and the car, there's a little, it is a driver's car, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather jump in the M6 out of the two and have a tear up in that if I had the choice, right? But the way this car puts the power down to the ground is a different league to the M6. It's unbelievable. A negative, let's quickly talk about a negative. As you accelerate in the RS6, because it's forward drive, it's massively heavy, and it's got these huge wheels, it sort of tracks the road a little bit and pulls you about a touch. And although it's predictable because it's forward drive and it does as it should, it does make that side of the drive a bit unpredictable because sometimes you just don't know where the weight of the car's going. So the force that I'm having to give to hold on to this wheel is like a bloody Kango. It's the pop there. It's a hell of a task, but that's one downfall. The infotainment system, again talking about little tiny things, I prefer the one in the M6 personally. Not saying there's any downfalls with this, I just feel like it's a little touch more modern in the M6. Opinion, all of these opinions, by the way, I am not going to give my conclusion on which car is my favourite. I'm going to conclude that probably in a different video. I know that by now, at this stage of the video, a lot of you would have decided yourselves which one you prefer, and I know from a recent Instagram post that I've done that yeah, which one most of you do prefer. But RS6, let's quickly talk about, it slid a little bit there. Let's quickly talk about the RS brand, because I'll talk about that. That's a valuable thing to talk about, I think, in this video. The Audi RS6 was like the daddy of estate cars, the daddy of Audis. It's like the daddy of my life at the minute as well. It was the car, the estate car that was quicker than bloody Porsche 911s. It's been that from day dot. The M6, I don't think is quite as much of a legend. Is that a fair thing to say? Again, this is just brief opinions as an Audi RS6, and the fact that it is an estate car, I think that gives it a lot of love, a lot of attraction. A lot of people love the fact that this is a big fat estate car and it's quicker than your average supercar. The sound of this car, Miltech, they did not supply me the exhaust. I actually paid money for it, a section of it anyway. It actually came with a Miltech exhaust on it, and it sounds absolutely crazy. The gearbox is something I was going to mention as well. Let's quickly talk about that. You just feel like you can just bang it. That's back end. You just feel like you can just bang it through the gears, and it is going to give you no grief. As much as I have had issues with this car in the past, which you all know about. Listen to the bloody noise. As much as, yeah, a lot of you do know about, this car fills me with so much confidence. I wouldn't want to launch it, of course, because we launched it when it was running 700 bhp and we broke a drive shaft. I wouldn't want to do that again. Performance wise, if we raced a pair of these two cars, the RS6 would definitely win that race, no doubt about that. So I won't be racing them today. This is, like I say, this is a video about comparing the two cars, showing you around them, and I suppose letting you decide which one you think is the best. But I am going to conclude which one, not the one that I think is the best, but which car is actually the best out of the two. I'm going to do that right now, and I think the car that is the best car out of this and my BMW M6, yeah, is definitely the RS6. Of course it is. It offers more. It's a 5-door, it's an estate car, it's more power, it's 4-wheel drive. Anyone could jump in the driver's seat of this car today and have a tear up in it and get out of it alive. I genuinely believe that. Not to say you'd push it to its limits, but it's a good all-rounder. It's good for a lot of people. It's just does everything, doesn't it? It literally does everything, and this is the hero of Calvin's Car Diary, and you know what? It deserves to be the bloody hero of Calvin's Car Diary, because it is such a quality car, man. And the way it sits today with the hybrid turbos and running at 820 bhp, this car is perfect. I've obviously thought about adding to it, and maybe it could do with a lightweight set of wheels for sure. Could do with maybe a little vinyl wrap to change the colour, but you know what? I love the way it is right now. It is my idea of perfection. So the M6, the M6, from a car trading point of view, because obviously that's what I am. Just turn the heating down and the heated seat off because I am boiling hot. You can go to the M6. How can I conclude the M6? Money can't buy that M6 on the used market, and I think the difference, sort of putting a spin on an opinion now, if today both of these cars were gone out of my life and I suddenly decided I wanted one of them back, I could go and buy an RS6 and replace it, spend, like say, 15 grand or whatever it would cost to get it to this level of power, and to go and find a blue one with the chrome, the silver pack on it, to this level of spec with these seats and the pan roof. I could do that. but that M6 is irreplaceable. The only way I could ever own that M6 again is by owning that exact M6 again. And I think that is the main difference between these two cars. All right, I think I'm going to end this video there. Let me know, I know you're going to do it anyway, your thoughts on your favourite car out of the RS6 and the M6. It was a well overdue video. I've been dying to do this for ages. Quite a big video for me, massive edit. I know obviously I haven't edited at this stage, but by the time it's gone live, it would be edited. I know a lot of effort's gone into this edit, so definitely give me a like for all the bloody effort that I put into not just this video, but every other one I've ever done on my channel. And if you're new to my channel, hit subscribe. Loads of stuff going on all the time. New video every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. Hit the bell icon as well to get notified when one of them gets uploaded. And give me a follow on Instagram as well, yeah? At Calvin's Car Diary. Before we sort of leave, I want to give a massive shout out again to VRS in Northampton for the RS6 and to Turbo Technics for the hybrid turbos, because this car is an absolute beast. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, basically I've bought a Cosworth, and to find out which Cosworth it is that I've bought, you're going to have to wait till the next video, which is going to be live on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I'll see you then.